So if this is truly a conversation, then I say let the conversation begin.
Hello, and welcome to From a Basement in Tulsa.
And Center Stage.
Yeah.
This is like a crossover
This
podcast.
is what we call a crossover podcast. But we can come up with a better name because, like, maybe a Garth over or just...
It's going to be that. It's going to be a lot of Garth Talk.
Yes.
Garth Talk.
Hopefully. We can just name Garth Talk, Garth Mullet is a throwback. Yeah, so basically this episode, if you're listening and you hate Garth, I'm sorry that you've downloaded this and wasted your data. Josh and I both saw Garth this past weekend.
Yes.
And we decided that it would probably be good to come do a crossover episode where we talk to each other about our fanboyish / fangirlish ways.
Yes.
About seeing Garth.
Mm-hmm.
Garth, I called you Garth just now. Josh, you should.
Can you imagine?
You should go first because you got to see Garth first. You were the Saturday night early show.
Yes.
How was it?
Well, actually, I was a Saturday night late show.
You were a late show,
which was a crazy experience in and of itself. Before we even got in, it's crazy.
I want to hear about that.
All right. So first of all, it was a double header night. There was a 7:00 show and a printed on the tickets 10:30 show. It was not a 10:30 show. The first show, I guess, ran late because, Garth doesn't stop. So from what I understand, he got off stage around 10:10, leaving, 20 minutes before the next show's supposed to start.
Yeah.
The BOK Center's got to turn around 18,000 people. Not going to happen. So there's like 18,000 people waiting outside the BOK Center in the middle of the night. Another 18,000 coming out. It took a good 90 minutes to get the whole crowd in.
That's crazy.
From what I've heard. The show started at 12:10. So technically it was a Sunday show, which is cool. Yeah.
I went to a Sunday show too. We were both there on Sunday.
Yeah.
I can't imagine playing that long. What, 6 hours, probably 5 hours?
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like he took much time in between the two.
And then like doing it right over the next day.
Yeah.
And I will say he felt it for our show, the Sunday night
really?
show. His voice was kind of going, but we didn't care. And he actually talked about how he felt like we didn't care that his voice was going out. We were all still, crying a little bit. At least, I would say at least 10% of us. I hope at least that many of us teared up a little bit.
I mean, I did for my show.
Of course.
A few times.
I feel like you have to.
I don't see how you can't.
17 years since he's been here.
He comes home. It's amazing.
How old was I? Like 10? Yeah, I was 10 last time he was here. And
yeah, I would have been 7. So.
Youngin'.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Well, what were your first impressions of the show? Did Karen Rochelle open? Is that her name?
That is her name, but she did not open the late show. They just jumped right into it, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
During Trisha Yearwood's set, she brought Karen out to sing a song with her so that she could have a little bit of time to sing. But
was that still in the middle of the Garth set?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Still right about in the middle. It was a nice kind of transition from Garth to Trisha back to Garth. I liked it.
That was cool. I felt bad for Trisha because the crowd kind of like sat down.
Yeah, they did that for us too. They kind of, I think she started with did she start with a ballad? I can't remember. I think she might have for us. And they're always sitting during ballads, people said.
Yeah. I still felt bad.
You could tell that people were not there for Trisha.
Yeah.
She's just like a bonus.
Yeah, because I just saw Trisha like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
so
Canes.
It was fine.
I like her. I think she's great.
I do too.
I tried to stand, but I also try to be that person who's like, if my whole section is sitting, I don't want to be that guy who's standing in someone's way.
Yeah, because then the guy behind me staring at my butt, which is fine, but I don't want to make
he can do what he wants to do.
What were your impressions of Garth coming on stage?
Man.
Can you describe that moment?
I mean, I was feeling pretty overwhelmed with excitement. I mean, I have been following Garth's music for the majority of my life. I really hit my stride with being a fan of his in 2003. I was 13 and I met him out at a softball field of all places.
Yeah.
He was very nice to me as a 13-year-old kid. He signed a CD for me. From that day on, I was like on the Garth train.
Yeah.
Full speed ahead. So to see him then come back home and do a show, the whole just anticipation of him hitting the stage was amazing. And that opening was pretty killer.
Yeah. It was nuts.
Yeah. I mean, there's still three shows left, I think. So, I mean, I don't want to spoil the opener for anyone who still hasn't gone yet, but when that show opens, it does.
Yeah.
Like, it is. And I don't even know where he came from.
Yeah, I was tricked. I was like tearing up, and then like, well, we're giving a little bit away. I was tearing up, and then like, it wasn't even him. I was just like a shadow of him, and I was like, "Ah, you got me, you sucker."
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the first song was good. I feel bad for if you're worried about spoilers because you still have a couple days to see Garth. Feel free to just stop because I saw way too many spoilers, and I was kind of bummed out about things. Only not really spoilers, but things that he did in previous shows that he didn't do for us. One of them being, I guess, in the 7 o'clock show Saturday, he fell on his. I heard that the moving sidewalk. Yeah,
thing.
the moving sidewalk. He didn't use the moving sidewalk for us on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if he used it for the late show.
Yeah.
And
the next day he's probably feeling it because he's like 60.
That must be it. Like,
yeah, I don't blame him.
I heard he fell during the early show. He didn't fall during the late show, but probably by Sunday he was feeling that fall.
Yeah, I would be hurting bad. My voice would be gone after like 20 minutes, and then so like another cool thing about one of my first impressions of watching Garth was he was there to impress us.
Yes.
Which seems like I've seen big bands that once you hit like a mark where you're there and you like know everybody's there to see you and you kind of treat them that way.
Right.
But he was like, oh, like I'm here to earn your respect still.
Yeah.
Which was strange and really cool to see from the most famous person alive.
Basically, yeah. No, I agree. That's along the lines of what he was saying he did a press conference Friday afternoon at the convention center across the street. And he talked about how on this tour, people are coming to see him, but Tulsa, he's like coming to see us, is how he worded it. How this was the show he was the most scared to death of because these are the people who are used to seeing him at Reese's on the street. And now he's like, gotta show them what he's made of. So that's awesome.
He said, thanks for making me feel cool. You guys realize I'm just a dude that lives here. And I was like, yeah, you know you're not.
Yeah, no, that's one of my favorite parts about him. Is he's like, he thinks he's just a dude that lives here.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he sort of is.
He is.
I mean, I don't know how many times I've told the story of selling him pizza and he was like asking for a discount. And I was like, if I could give it all for free, I would get you own the store now. You can have it. But it was just really odd that he was like, yeah, if I buy 10, I get them for $7. Yeah, let's do that. And I was like, wow, that's just a weird backstory of Garth. And then I had him sign my Bible, and that's the weirdest moment of my life looking back. But
it's got to be for him too.
Yeah, I hope to talk to about him one day. But also about the show is another thing I don't catch myself doing with other big shows. I don't know what to compare it to, but my most recent BOK show was One Republic. And a few of the times I was really lost, I guess, in the music. But a lot of times I was just evaluating. I was like, oh, how are they doing that? What's happening next? What's going on with the stage?
Right.
These lights are really cool. But at Garth, it wasn't like that at all. I want to bring out a little bit of hippie, but I wasn't a person. I wasn't a songwriter. I wasn't a podcaster. I was just somebody there watching Garth or somebody there enjoying the songs that I don't even remember when I found. I just always remember knowing them.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying there. It's definitely and that's just a testament to him as a performer. That's what makes him one of the greatest entertainers of all time, in my opinion, is you're nobody when you're in the room with Garth Brooks.
Oh, that's true.
He's commanding the room no matter what.
Yeah, I was talking more along the lines of just the music, like, made me forget everything else that was going on.
And that's kind of what I mean. Is like you forget everything you're thinking about and you're just lost in what's going on.
You forget that your toes are hurting because you thought it'd be cool to wear boots.
You forgot that you were cold outside for 3 hours. Like, you're instantly warm. You don't care anymore. You're just having a great time.
Have you had other experiences that way where you see another band in that? There's been only a couple times, but never to that level where I forgot, everything in the room pretty much, except for my family texting me. Like, we were like, oh my God, are you tearing up yet? Are you crying yet? And I was like, yeah, I've been since it opened.
Since November when it was announced.
Yeah, man, I felt so dumb when, like, in the very beginning when I got tricked. But
it's cool though. It's a cool moment.
I don't actually. I'm saying I don't want to spoil it. I don't give a shit. I don't know if we cuss on your podcast, Josh.
No, it's fine. The internet's free reign.
Yeah, I when he's playing the river, that's when it really hit hard, and it was really bad for me because he started playing the river. And then, like, within a few minutes, there were a few cell phones up. And, like, I wasn't, like, bawling quite, but tears were definitely running down my face. And then all of a sudden those lights were up, and he's like, "Light it up!"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, I'm crying."
Yeah, turn the lights off.
Don't look
at
I was like,
me.
"No, we're supposed to be dark. This is my moment." Because I've been saving up these tears for a long time, which is weird to say. Taylor Swift almost got me with her Christmas video. I don't know if you saw it, but she
the gifts.
She individualized gifts, and I was like, it was really close. I almost lost it on that one. I was like, no, I gotta save it for Garth. So then the lady in front of me starts looking around, like, at all the lights in the stadium, and then she, like, elbows her daughter or whoever is with her and, like, points back at me, and I'm assuming she said, "Hey, look, that girl's crying," but I couldn't quite hear the girl. So if you're one of the literally 100 people that like that Facebook status, I'm not sure she said girl. My girlfriend just said she probably thinks you're a girl, and I was like, yeah, that's how it works. So
sometimes
we can go ahead and call it. Oftentimes it happens. So then she like starts. She's like immediately as soon as they look back at me, and I'm like, "Quit looking at me." She grabs her phone out of her pocket and acts like she's taking this huge panoramic picture of the whole building, which actually would be a cool photo.
Yeah.
Except for she like paused at my face for like 3 seconds, and then like didn't continue the rest of the room. Just put her phone back in her pocket.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, at least it wasn't obvious what you're doing right now.
No, I totally didn't see that.
Somewhere out there, there's a
I'm
picture of
not
me.
on stage. Point it there.
Yeah. Oh man. And then like I held it back and I was like, forget this. I've been waiting for this forever.
Yeah.
I have to cry. What were your like top few favorite songs?
Well, the River's always been one of my favorites of Garth. I love the message in it. I love the music. Like that is one of his perfect songs to me. The moment that got me emotionally was Unanswered Prayers. And it does every time. Like when he stops singing and 18,000 people start singing back to him.
Oh, yeah.
Like that pulls me out of myself for a little bit to get a little more hippie. And it puts me like, I want to reverse roles with him. And I picture 20,000 people singing my words back to me. Like that's crazy.
You transcended, man.
Yeah, like
you're one
I
of 20,000 people in a sea of faces,
It's
man.
true. Like it's like the building is one person singing this song and he's in the middle just freaking out.
Yeah.
Like he does every time.
I can't imagine you get used to that ever.
He doesn't appear to have.
Yeah, I don't know if I have favorites. The River is definitely one because it really, I mean, that's just a beautiful song.
Yes.
And it's, I mean, all of them. I made a playlist today at work of, I Googled a set list and it was different.
Man, I
it
need
was,
to do that.
It was different than what my shows was. I don't think he played Shameless my night, and I don't think he played Two Pina Coladas.
I'd heard that he has tweaked them a little bit each night because I got Shameless and Two Pina Coladas my night.
Yeah, I
could have done without Pina Coladas. I love that song, but there were others I would have.
Yeah, I think I don't know what was different, but the way the set list on I looked up is he played a song. He played The River by himself, I think is what it was, and then just started playing Papa Love Mama by himself, and the band came back up for that, and that was incredible.
Yeah.
So I would hate to have seen Two Pina Coladas in the middle of that. And maybe he did the same thing where he just starts playing Two Pina Coladas, and the band shows up and has the same effect. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what he did for us. He
Okay.
just started playing it, and then they came out with him, and it was still cool. I mean, I don't know what it'd have been like for Papa Love Mama, but
Yeah, I mean,
it
your
was
excitement
nice
level for the two songs. Like,
Yeah.
oh, there's about to be some semis driving into some motels right now.
yeah. Man. Yeah, those are some of my favorite moments. Another favorite moment of mine would have to be I'm trying to mentally rank them real quick before I talk about it. He in the encore played my favorite Garth song of all time, "Standing Outside the Fire." Did you get that?
Yeah.
Man, I've been lucky enough to see Garth a few times in concert, and I've never heard that song played live. And that was
Wait,
the
what?
moment.
You've seen Garth a few times in concert?
Yes.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
Do you want me to explain that part?
Yeah,
or continue
please.
this?
Yeah.
I got to see Garth in 2007 in Kansas City. He did 9 nights there randomly. So I drove up there and saw him. I got to see him again in Nashville in 2010. I think he did a benefit concert for like some floods there. Went out there, saw that, and then a year or two ago, he was in Norman for that Twister Relief thing.
Yeah.
He played like a small set there, so I saw that. So I've seen him a few times.
No big deal.
No big deal.
This was my first time, and I never thought it would actually happen.
And like it felt like the first time again for me too, because I never thought I'd see him at home.
Yeah.
I never thought I wouldn't have to drive halfway across the country to find him.
Yeah.
So that it was like,
it still took just as long though with the traffic and waiting out.
Well, yeah, it was just like driving to Tennessee.
Except for driving is
So
warm.
that was, yeah, it was. Every time is like seeing him for the first time. I can assure
How
you
cliche.
of that. I know. We are like, so many eyes are rolling listening to this podcast right now. Like, oh my God.
Anybody
these
that doesn't
guys.
agree has probably turned it off.
Let's hope. I like to think so.
I have to save my favorite moments, or maybe the moments that stick the most, to the very end, because it's going to be. I don't think will come back from it. It'll have to be. It's going to be sad.
Okay,
So,
I'm looking forward to it.
So I want to say, if you could ask, we made a pact. If we either one of us got to interview Garth, you would call the other person, even though you kind of cheated and got invited to the press release.
Hey,
and didn't invite me.
I didn't know that was going to happen
Strike
until
one.
the last minute. It was super awesome, but yeah.
So I'll be like, I didn't know it was going to be on my podcast till the last minute. Or
Hey,
I'll text
you know
like,
what? It'll be fair if that happens. I'll understand.
I forgot where I was going. Oh, if you got to sit down and do an interview with him, what kind of questions do you think you would ask him?
The first question, well, I don't know if it's the first, but one of the first questions that comes to mind, I thought of this after the show Saturday night, is I want to know what makes him at the end of each concert stop playing and go backstage for the end of the night. Like, how does he, with the energy that he has and the like very obvious love for playing music that he has, I want to know, how does he go, man, I have to stop tonight.
Yeah.
I have to go back downstairs and stop playing music. Because he'd leave and he'd come back, and he'd leave and he'd come back.
Which is another thing I think I got tricked by.
Oh, really?
I got, having become not a songwriter, not anybody that knows anything about music, not just a person there watching songs, all the little things performers do that normally I'm like, whatever. Yeah. I was falling for it.
Yeah.
Every time. It's like him being surprised that the crowd's going to cheer when he shines a spotlight at them was one of them. And whatever you just said, remind me of it. What did you just say?
Oh, leaving the stage and coming back for an encore.
Yeah.
Like, he'd act like he was surprised they wanted more.
The Friends in Low Places. I was tricked and I was pissed.
About the third verse?
About the third verse. And my friend had texted me before.
Yeah.
He was there Saturday early. He's like, he doesn't play that song anymore? Or he doesn't play the third verse anymore? I'm pissed about it. And I was like, my fanboys were like, well, it's his decision, man. He can do whatever he wants.
Like,
maybe he's retiring it, man.
Yeah.
But there I was like, oh.
No.
But I know that he would say that and still play the song, but I still was like, he's not playing it? Oh my God, why wouldn't he play that? I'm trying to think of just other random things that I would know as a performer, or just having seen lots of performers. They do this to trick you into whatever, and I was there, taking the bait every time.
I don't know what it is about him, but like, you can't not believe him when he says something. It's like he's so genuine that you're like, he's not even joking. Like, he wouldn't even tell a joke lie. Of course I believe you,
wouldn't
Garth.
lie to us, Garth.
And you wouldn't say anything that wasn't true.
Which brings me to my question I would want to ask him. Is I always hear, and I'm sure you do too, in interviews or just people talking about Garth, they're like, oh, he's such a good guy. And I want to know if that surprises him. What I mean by that is he's probably just a good dude, and
Right.
he's like, why do you keep asking me this when I'm just being a person and everybody should really be this way? I wonder if he gets like bugged by it or just surprised by it every time, or maybe if he's seen people be good people and reach a certain line of fame or of just success, and then it changes to where I wonder if he's seen that often. I want to ask him to talk about that.
Yeah, that would be a really interesting thing, because I don't think I've ever heard anyone ask him that or him talk about that, because he is a genuinely good guy from all I can understand of him. But, I think a lot of people, probably us included, put him on a pedestal a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's got to be thinking like, man, I just do what I think's right. Like, I'm not better than anyone.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just doing what everybody should really do.
People
should just love people, which I freaked out about that song.
Yeah.
This is the new song, one of the new songs on the album. I love all of them now. Initially, I was like, I kind of hate Fish.
I kind of was, yeah. Fish was one that
but I can
took
at least stand it right now because I'd heard that story before, and I was like, Garth, why are you singing that story? And I talked about it with a guy I work with who's from Guatemala, and he's like, yeah, that's just a normal story about people coming in and trying to incorporate capitalism. Like, you can sell these fish, buy a boat, and buy another boat, and then end up doing exactly what you wanted, which we were already doing.
Right.
Which is what the song is. But people loving people, that song, the point of that is just, I love that, and I feel like that's something Garth would really say.
I think so too. I think that's exactly why he made it his first single off the album. I think that song's great. I really enjoyed it live.
Yeah,
I thought it was even better live, to the point where I was getting like visibly irritated when I saw people get up and walk to the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't leave. You sit down.
Yeah, sit down.
Sing along. The words are on the screen.
It's not that difficult.
No.
I didn't see that. I would have probably done this.
There are a few people who are like, well, I don't know this song.
Oh. Well,
cool.
what he said, he said, I don't know about you, but when I go see bands, I go to see the old stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, when you're people like us, I
want to hear you play your whole album right now.
Everything. Yeah. Like, I want an encore of some old stuff, and then I also want you to just play through the whole new album real quick. If somebody doesn't like it, they can leave, but we're going to stay here partying till 3:15 or 2:15, however late you were there.
Man, he stopped at 2:29. It's crazy. It was crazy.
I can see that. I don't know. I don't know if I would hate that or love that.
I didn't even feel it.
You didn't even care?
No, I didn't care. We walked outside, and the guys I was like, man, it's cold. And I said, I don't feel anything but joy. That's all I feel.
I lucked out because my brother is a police officer and knew the police officer behind BLK Center. He's like, hey, buddy, we're going to park over here. And so we just parked right there by
nice,
where,
yeah.
Yeah, and that didn't suck at all. Leaving kind of sucked because, 20,000 people trying to walk across.
Yeah, leaving wasn't fun for us either.
How's the drunkenness at 2:15 in the morning? There's, I'm sure, quite a few drunk people.
There was some drunks. Luckily, I wasn't none of them were sitting near me anyway. I was not next to some seemingly nice people. When I left, I saw at least 3 or 4 people being actually carried out of the arena. And I just feel bad for those guys because they don't know. They're going to wake up and not even remember it.
Yeah. I don't know. I got so drunk there.
Without
even any booze. I'm like trying to I'm having flashbacks. I had to take notes today to remember what I was talking about. I had to listen to all the songs and go through what I remember from.
Yeah.
Okay, we can talk about what happened to my brother.
Okay.
My brother, when it was his birthday, we went to see the show on his birthday.
Nice.
And he got tickets for his birthday. I got tickets separately, but we went to dinner first. And before, the whole week, he'd call me and be like, are you freaking out, man? We got 5 days. And I'd be like, of course I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I can't do anything else but freak out. He told me the story, which I don't know if I'd heard it before, but when he was 15, I was 10, 17 years ago, when he was playing at Driller Stadium, I guess he was mowing lawns and saved up money for both of us to go see Garth. But something came up, and my parents needed that money. So we lived close enough to where he could hear Garth playing, but couldn't see it because we had to pay a bill or something like that. And that is just traumatic enough. So he's like, I had no idea there was going to be 17 years before it happened again.
Right.
So there I am, already sad. And that's when I felt really bad that my tickets were on the floor and his were not. But I think is that his seats actually ended up being pretty cool. I might have, the floor was cool, but I might have rather be one of the earlier rows right off the floor because you can see everything.
Yeah.
You can see Garth and you can see the screens.
Yeah.
But that's not even the most sad part. I remember finding out about Garth. I don't really remember that. I just always remember his music being a part of my life. Mm-hmm. I remember my dad being really sad and crying when the Oklahoma City bombings happened, and Garth released that song, the video to that song. The Change. Yeah. And I actually had to look it up today to remember what it even was. I just remember seeing, as a 9-year-old probably, seeing my dad cry about this, not really understanding what's going on, but that's how early I remember Garth being a part of my life, my dad being a fan of Garth. And so he passed away a year and a half ago. And so I in the middle, what really brought on tears is me thinking about how much my dad would love to have been there.
Right.
So I was really sad, crying a river right then. So it was, just understandably sad. And so then my brother texted me and for the encores, I walked up to the top and we hung out with him just for the last few songs. So we were seeing Garth together for a bit, like bros should, really.
Right.
And then he's holding up 4, standing outside the fire. He's like, I'm kicking it old school, and holding up a big lighter. And I was like, that's cool, and I'm already like emotional because standing outside the fire is happening. I'm seeing all these lights show, and Garth's right there, and it's just a huge emotional moment. He's like, oh yeah, Dad left this at my place. So like, he brought the lighter that our dad left at his house with him to the Garth show to hold up while Garth was playing, and then hands it to me, and I'm like, holy crap! Like, it took like the pressure of the world all of a sudden. Like, is this really real?
Yeah.
You dick. Wow. Why would you do that? It was really, really pretty. One, because I'm not the only one that was thinking that, like, our dad would love to have been there.
Right.
But yeah, that's where the most emotional thing came up, and I was like, good grief. So that's what I'll probably remember.
I mean, that's
forever.
That is a cool moment, though.
Yeah,
it's a very cool moment to have.
Very much so.
Very much a kind of a full circle moment too.
Yeah.
Like, that's neat.
Yeah. And I mean, I pirated the 1997 whatever it was live video from New York City.
Yeah.
And I remember how old would I have been then? 10. So around the same time, I remember watching that as a family. So I really don't remember a time before we were Garth fans.
Right.
And luckily, that's something I've kept.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of things I remember being instilled in me as a child that I kept.
Right.
But I could never get rid of the Garth.
No, man. Yeah, that's cool. That is very cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it gets any more magic than that.
That's a magic moment right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I had a story that meaningful to me to tell.
Nah. I'm sure it's the same amount as meaningful, just in a different way.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You've seen
right
Garth
there.
like 100 times.
Hey, three concerts is not 100 times.
Well, yes, it kind of is.
I mean, I'd love to see him 100 times, and I plan to.
I thought about like updating Facebook and trying to make people believe that I was hiding in the bathroom for 4 days, like because one of my Hanson friends posted like, you're not, like, they were making fun of Garth fans, like, you're not real Garth fans, or you'd be at every show. And I wanted to say something along the lines of, Hanson doesn't sell out in 10 minutes.
Right.
So, I mean, we really didn't have that chance, but I did try to pretend like I was in the bathroom still, and I kind of want to do that still. So thanks for joining me in the BOK bathroom to fangirl over Garth and see him again.
I'm surprised I was able to get in so easily.
Yeah.
With nothing going on. Well, I mean, I guess there's nothing happening tonight.
I wish he would have came in the summer, because I probably been able to like beg somebody to let us be the opener outside. They do a summer series.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, and when I did that with One Direction, they let us in to use the restroom and didn't follow us. So I would have been like, I would have ditched the gig, ruined my name in Tulsa. I don't care.
Just to stay and watch.
But I would have been out there with Garth, just chilling. Like, oh man, I can't forget to talk about this. Speaking of just chilling with Garth, this is a great way to end it.
Okay.
Is this cool with you? Do you have anything else you'd like to?
I don't think so. We covered pretty much all my
lots
favorite things.
Of tears.
Yeah, I mean,
good.
Yeah.
Here's a beautiful moment to end it with. Is during the first person set, Karen, I left to use the restroom. And you remember the first night, there was, I think his name was Pat, a Special Olympics guy.
Yes, I heard that story, yeah.
That beautiful story. For people that haven't seen the story, he showed up with a picture of Garth and held it up. And Garth saw the picture and recognized Pat from meeting him at the Special Olympics where Pat was competing. And it was a picture of Garth and Pat. And Garth took the picture and held it up. And then Pat gave him some medals. And then Garth, in turn, gave him his acoustic guitar. Well, when I was there, I'm fairly certain I saw Pat with a Garth crew jumper on, like the crew full outfit with Garth on the back, and an all access pass, just walking around like he owned the place, and it was so beautiful to see.
That's awesome.
It was really cool. So I'm gonna say this without knowing it for fact, but I'm pretty sure Garth just gave him like hooked up. Like, you can come to every show if you want. Go wherever you want. I mean, that's.
I'm sure he treated him well. I'm sure whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do you? And that's another thing. Just on that story, how many other big arena shows can you go to and then like have the performer pick out people in the crowd and like have moments with them individually on stage
while simultaneously having moments with 20,000
yeah
people.
while still singing? It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, no, it's nuts. I saw a video of that. It was really cool, and he gave the guy gave Garth like his Special Olympic medals too, and he like put them on and wore them for the rest of the show.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And then let's hope that it was him that got all access pass.
I hope so.
So if you're going to see Garth, still look for Pat. He's probably walking around being happy as
Just hanging
shit,
out at
just
every
being
show?
so happy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would be.
Well, thank you, Josh, for having me on your show and being on my show at the same time.
Yeah, I'm excited. This was cool.
This is a fun episode.
It was.
Kind of short, extra crossover. Thanks for fangirling with me this past 6 months since the album was announced.
Oh, yeah. And I'll keep, now that he's back, like, let's keep it up.
Yeah.
Keep fangirling till he retires again.
As my girlfriend would say, #cryface.
Hashtag cryface. Yeah. I like
So
it.
thank you guys so much. Please check out Green Shorts.
Yeah. If you're an iTunes, if you're an iPhone guy or girl, iPhone person,
Yes.
check us out on the podcast app. Just look for Green Shorts Radio. You'll find Center Stage there. You can also find us on SoundCloud if you're into Android or Windows or whatever.
Right. And if you're first time you're hearing about From a Basement in Tulsa, I'm Jason Ferguson. I don't know if I said that earlier. And we're just at FromABasementInTulsa.com and iTunes and wherever those podcasts are. Not really sure. Thank you guys.
You'll find them.
Thank you so much. And thank you to whoever listens.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's fun.
If Garth happens to hear this, respond to our questions, please. Thanks and bye.
And we love you.
And we love you.